So, what prompted me to start looking into this topic was the movie Rocky, because my husband said to me that movie is very romantic and he thought that I would like it. And I had never seen it, and I watched it, and I was like, when I finished the movie, I was like, what romance? There was nothing romantic about the movie. Literally, there's a relationship between Rocky and Adrian, but they don't show us anything about Adrian that would make Rocky fall in love with her. It's kind of just like it's almost like when the movie starts, he's already in love with her and he's just trying to convince her to like date him. And then I don't know. But he doesn't even like take her out on any really nice dates or like romance her or anything. They just kind of like together. So I was like, this is not romantic at all. But then that prompted me to think about what is romance to a woman in a movie versus to a man. To him, that was the most romantic part, was that Adrian stuck by Rocky. She was a ride or die. No matter how many people were trashing Rocky in the news, in the media, no matter how many people were clowning on him, how many people were doubting him, how he was literally no one before he started fighting. But she stuck by him through everything, through it all, and even through the later movies. Like he was facing a lot of backlash, and he was like not sure if he was ever going to fight again, and they didn't have enough money. She still stuck through them. And
That is truly male romance summed up perfectly. Loyalty. Loyalty from the beginning to the end. That is what men value. That is what men cherish. That is what we love about romance. Ride or die. This is my girl. She's with me through thick and thin, for better or for worse, through sickness and in health, through till death do us part. That is truly male romance. Now, women have their own warped, weird view on romance, and it's often, very dark, and we'll get into that. I'm actually going to let her give her take on female romance because I want to see how she portrays it. But man, she summed up male romance perfectly. It's loyalty from the beginning to the end. Stick beside me and I'll love you forever. But let's see what she has to say about the female aspect of romance.
men, that is romantic. Now, to me, my idea of romance on film, when I thought about it, is hypergamy. A woman falls in love with a man who can do something for her. He gives her some kind of value. He adds value to her life,
Yeah.
which honestly, not a lot of modern romances display. We only see that really in fairy tales, in fairy tale arcs, other than like The Sound of Music and The Nanny. The woman's not really marrying up anymore. And that I think that's because women today are so successful that it's kind of hard to marry up, because not as many men are more successful than women anymore, unless they're a billionaire, which is why so many romance novels have the trope of regular girl, working girl, falls in love with a billionaire, and he takes care of her. That's why 50 Shades of Grey was so popular. It is the modern equivalent of man gives value to woman, elevating her life in exchange for a relationship and love and commitment.
And you know what? That sums up the female perspective on love and romance so well. This is why men and women love differently. This is why men are more loyal and they leave relationships less, because when we actually love a woman, we love her. And as long as she sticks by us, we'll continue to love her. Women only love and experience romance when there's a value exchange, when the man is elevating her, when a man is providing her resources. That's how they're programmed. She explained it perfectly with the 50 Shades of Grey. Usually it was, a more wealthy guy dating a more regular girl, and he would elevate her, make her his wife, and, take her on to be a part of his life. But now, like she said, since things are more equal between men and women, there's this exaggerated, view of hypergamy where you have this rich billionaire guy who gets with the regular average chick who you could find at Starbucks, and now she's living this crazy life that would have been out of reach to her had she not have met this super attractive, wealthy guy who wanted to take her seriously for some reason. Yeah, she nailed it on the head with that one. It's definitely hypergamy is baked in to the female view of romance. But let's keep going.
That is what romance is. And when I look at most of the chick flicks from the past 20, 30 years, they're not romantic. They're really not.
No.
They want us to think that it is romantic, but in some ways, well, they're not hypergamous. So that's really what I'm trying to say. The romance is completely different. it is more of an equal playing field romance. And sometimes the woman even has to make a sacrifice to be with the man. She has to settle for him. Andy in How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days. I would even argue that when Harry met Sally, she settled for him. He wasn't really the guy of her dreams, right? But that's debatable. The point is that what men and women find romantic is very different, and that's kind of obvious, but it really shows up on film. To men, romance is just unwavering support through whatever they're going through and through their struggles and through their ascension, most of all, because the male protagonist always ascends
Yeah.
by the end of the movie. Even if he struggles along the way, he always ascends and he wants the same woman there with him. That is romantic.
Isn't it amazing how when male write romance and when we portray the male view of romance in movies, it's one to one with what we want in reality. It's not this fairy tale fantasy. It's like we want a woman who's going to be with us when we were nothing, when we were nobody, and be with ride it through us, through all the turbulent, times in our life, the times when we're low, the times when we got beat, the times when we, win the trophy, win the championship. Through every stage of life, we want her to be with us until we reach that ultimate point where we are that man and we are successful and she's standing beside us and we value her because of that journey she walked through with us. That is what men view as romantic, and we want that in reality, and we see that portrayed in movies when we look at male romance. But women, it's just delusional. Almost everything about what women want when it comes to relationships is just completely removed from reality, and most of them will never get this idea of romance that they crave so much. I talk to a lot of girls who read those romance, fiction books where there's a lot of, sexual stuff, and yeah, it's always the same story, man. Super strong, powerful man, regular girl. She gets brought into his life. And here's another thing about female romance that often is not touched on is the aspect of infidelity. So much infidelity is baked into female romance. Go back and look at the female romance movies. I can't remember them off the top of my head. I used to, back in the day, watch a lot of romance, a lot of rom-coms, a lot of romance movies. But nowadays I don't. But bro, I'm telling you, infidelity, cheating on your husband because there's a new attractive guy at work and he understands you. Your husband, like the husband in the movie, didn't do anything wrong. He's still doing his job. He's not neglectful. He's being a good man. But somehow the guy at work just understands her in a way her husband doesn't, and she starts to shift emotionally towards him. And then the whole movie is now about whether or not you should do what's best for you. You have a good husband, but your heart's pulling you this way. Should you do what's right or should you follow your heart? Guess what they do? They follow their heart. They cheat on their husband or divorce their husband to be with the flashy new guy they met at work. That's female romance in a nutshell. It's total BS. And so this is why you'll see women enact on that in real life. But they don't get the nice fantasy outcome that they're hoping for because the guy at work who understands your emotions better than your husband, he's just trying to smash. He ain't trying to take you seriously because you're cheating on your husband. You think he's trying to be next? But chicks don't think like that. They're very foolish because they follow their emotions. Another thing that's very common in female romance centered movies is simping. Holy crap. The male in the story who's supposed to be pursuing the woman, my God, is he a simp. Holy crap. Like he's usually views himself as significantly beneath the woman, and he has to do these grand gestures of pursuing her. He often gets emasculated. He puts himself in very embarrassing scenarios just to get her attention. Man, this isn't one to one, but when it comes to simping, I was at work the other day, and the movie with Ice Cube, what was it called? Are We There Yet? Boom, that one. The one where he has the kids and he's taking them on that little trip to go meet up with the mom. So basically, if you guys haven't seen it, it's a very popular movie. I'm sure you have. Ice Cube's the main actor. He meets this single mom that he finds attractive, and in order to win over the single mom, he has to drive her snot-nosed rebellious kids to meet up with her at this event. And in the process, they give him so much trouble. They destroy his flashy new car that he just bought. But the whole movie was just him simping. Like, they should change the name of the movie to Are We There Yet? To Are You Done Simping Yet? Because holy crap, the amount of absolute abuse this man goes through by her kids just to get at a single mother who's also given him disrespect as though he has to win her over. Bro, that movie, I was just cringing the whole movie at the level of simping this guy did just to get at her. But there's so many more examples of men just simping in these female romance movies, and it's absolutely disgusting. Like, no guy should ever try to emulate these men in these female romance movies. You will absolutely get destroyed in real life if you do that, because women don't respect it. They want it because it's free attention, free resources. You know, they want a man to simp on them, but they don't respect it. Very interesting. But let's see what else she has to say, and we'll wrap this up.
And then to the woman, romance could be different things. It could be hypergamy, where he's giving value to her life and he's elevating her. Or it could be, gynocentrism. That's the word. It could be gynocentric, where the movie's all about her. She's already successful. She's already capable. She's already taken care of herself. She's already established as a woman. And he doesn't really add much value to her life other than just being a partner. It's more of like a partnership romance. And again, sometimes she has to settle for him. But she's willing to do that because she wants love. That is the thing that she's pining after. It's not just support, and it's not just elevation from the man in hypergamy. She wants love, and she's willing to do anything for love.
Yeah, it's just weird. But, you know, modern women have definitely lost the plot when it comes to romance and love. They don't know what it is. It either looks like extreme hypergamy to them, or it looks like cheating, or it looks like the man pedestalizing them, putting them, you know, ahead of themselves and simping in extreme ways just to get their love and affection, or the slightest bit of attention, competing with the guy that she really admires and trying to win her over. Bro, it's disgusting, the female view of romance. Men have a more accurate, a more reasonable, and respectable view on romance, actually, you know? Be loyal to me, stick by my side. From the point where I was nothing to the point where I'm successful and I'm that guy, and I'll love you forever. That is reasonable. It's something that any woman can do. I'm not saying it's going to be easy to ride through all the turbulent times of his life with him, but that's the whole point of love, right? The whole point of love is, I don't care. I want this person, and regardless of what we have to go through together, I'm going to be by his side. But women, they don't actually think that. They say that because it sounds nice. But women, they stick by your side if they view there being a benefit either in the present or down the line. There's always, where can I extract value? If I can't extract value now, then there needs to be a payoff later. And they'll give themselves reasons to stay. And that might be saying that they love you. That might be saying that they see your potential. But their idea of romance is just, it's dark, it's warped, it's weird, and it's delusional. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think about male/female romance in the comment section down below. And until next time, guys, take it easy.